Today is a talk on Israel, Palestinians, and everything. The lies of Hamas and some Palestinians and all those demonstrating for Hamas. Al Jazeera news organization, professors from Harvard. Well, anyhow, it's incredible. How could they believe such crap? Yes, Hamas wants to kill all Jews. Some Palestinians are taught that from the cradle that Jews are some sort of worldwide organization that controls the world and wants to destroy and humiliate all righteous Muslims or something. I'll go into beliefs. Yes, there is God, the God of Jews and Muslims and Christians. He's the same God beyond space and time, yet within space and time. He is the God of the universe, the whole goddamn universe, which is infinite yet is ordered, is based on beauty and kindness and love. Yes, there is the devil, not the devil of Freud, which is simply our suppression of thoughts, usually sexual, that bedevil us all sometimes. No, the real devil, who is an evil spirit, who sometimes masquerades as Allah, or what some people think Jesus, is telling them, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Of course, maybe he means there is real absolute good and evil, and I represent good, as do all those who believe in the principles I stand for. Actually, I don't think he ever said those words, whatever. We are worried, well, does God sleep? Or how can he always be there responding to our prayers, which he must pray at 3 in the morning when everyone is sleeping and my baby is dying and I'm asking God, don't let him die, and he does die or he doesn't die. Does it matter that I prayed? Yes, I think it does. God is inscrutable, of course. Things are vastly more complicated than we're allowed to know or could grasp, yet a child of 5 may have a grasp, but what love is more than a priest or doctor of theology. Love is the most important concept of the universe, I think, and that, of course, includes sexual love. The love between a man and a woman, or a man and a man, or a woman and a woman. I certainly would prefer to be heterosexual than homosexual or bisexual, but we are what we are, as they say. To get back to the Jews and Palestinians, there are Muslim groups that don't hate the Jews or Israel, or at any rate accept the reality of what is. Maybe they can use some military funding or strategies to help them against Iran in the case of Saudi Arabia. For example, maybe the Abraham Accords are going to prove to be a game changer. Yes, Hamas continues to send rockets, missiles into Israel to kill civilians. Most of the time, these are destroyed by Israel's Iron Dome missile defense network. Yes, Hamas has tunnels underneath hospitals, schools, where its soldiers are located, and from where missiles are fired into Israel. Hamas has no wish to provide for its citizens, roads, infrastructure, agriculture, education. It is centered on its anti-Semitism and will use any propaganda to discredit and demonize Israel and all Jews. Of course, they don't like Christians much either. It's hard to be a Christian in the Middle East. You don't fare very well in Iraq, Afghanistan as a Christian. In fact, if Israel is undermined, organizations like Hamas would like to destroy the United States. After all, we're infidels. Maybe that's going a little overboard. Of course, I think a lot of people hate the Jews because they think God is Jewish. After all, Jesus was a Jew. A lot of people don't like God. After all, he's always getting them about their sins, or he can throw them into hell. Maybe God's thoughts can travel instantaneously anywhere in the universe, and there's always a now in time, even if you're thousands of years distant from some planet. After all, the stars of the Pleiades are some 400 light years from us. And a light year is 1 trillion miles or so. Also, some of the planets of our solar system travel 1 billion miles or so. Uranus takes 84 years to travel around the sun and gets a distance of 1.3 billion miles from the sun at its furthest distance. You think about it, the existence of life is so incredible and really far-fetched in the vast universe, and plants and animals and us, people. And we are probably going to blow it up. It might be with a war that completely destroys civilization and leaves maybe 1 million or so people alive in the worst scenario. And life will be tough for them. What plants, animals are alive that can be used, eaten? What could we do? We could do it over something so stupid as anti-Semitism, or over a clash of world powers over Ukraine or Taiwan. To digress, I think maybe sex and the wish to reproduce is probably the greatest driving force in life, and God or nature made this drive so strong. This wish of man and women to make love, the attraction between men and women, affection, the wish of women and men to have something that lives on after they die, kids. The wish for beauty to make the drudgery of life bearable, music, art, architecture, furniture. The wish for growth, progress, the wish for change, newness. Then there's the wish to worship. That there is some meaning to it all, that there's some reason for all this. Why are we alive, especially now? I think the main reason we believe in God is so we think above all the odds that we exist or are alive after we die, when the body is no more than simply a skeleton. Well, is there spirit or a real something out there which is not matter, not material, which is cognizant, knows probably a heck of a lot more than any of us do, because it doesn't die. It is not tied to matter, to infancy, old age. I think those who channel supposedly important people who have died, like Jesus or Mary or Buddha, or those who can supposedly perform miracles, like Jesus or Moses. I think these are the greatest indicators that there is a spiritual realm. The Old Testament is built on prophets who supposedly channel God. Elijah, Jeremiah, Moses, David, who maybe channeled the book of Psalms, or John in the New Testament, the book of Revelation. To digress, also Israel is getting most people from North Gaza to go south so they can destroy the tunnels and infrastructure of Hamas, which is located mainly in the north. Hamas started this by killing 1,400 Israelis on October 7th. Troops, people crossed the border into Israel from Gaza and indiscriminately killed people, old, young, even beheaded kids of all things. Killed hundreds at some musical festival, burned people in ovens. I saw hundreds of cars completely vandalized, attacked, burned. After all, militant Muslims destroyed the World Trade Center buildings in 9/11 in New York. The Palestinian cause originated with the cause of anti-Semitism, or destruction of Jews, or actually all non-Muslims, the infidels who were not Muslims and didn't believe in the Quran. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, which wanted to replace the apostate regime in the Middle East and replace it with true Islamic government. Al-Qaeda's primary enemy is the United States. ISIS' aim is to wage jihad and strive for a Muslim government. Perhaps Islam is antithetical to democracy, or a pluralistic government, separation of church and state.